What's going on, guys? Frozen Titan here, and welcome to my first ever YouTube commentary. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to go from 0 gold to 10 mil in 3 days on a level 3 account. So as you can see, I currently have 10 mil in my backpack, and I have an additional 12 mil here in my money pouch, and I actually have a little bit more in the bank as well, but I'll be talking about that later. So if you check out my stats, you can see that I have 10 agility, 3 herbivore, and 16 summoning, which technically makes me level 5, but I was level 3 when I started, as you guys will see in a minute here, as the rest of this video is just going to be about 10.5 hours of gameplay sped up really fast. Now, it took me about 10.5 hours to make 10 mil, but I made a lot of mistakes, and as you guys have probably noticed, my computer is incredibly laggy. I'll be getting a new one in about a week and a half here, but in the meantime, you just have to bear with me. So if you guys were going to attempt to emulate what I did, you could probably do it in a much shorter amount of time, and you could probably even do it in 2 days, or even 1 day if you just decided to play the whole day. So anyway, let's get to it. Alright, so here's me logging in, creating a character as I'm playing on a brand new account, choosing optimum clothing for maximum swag. From here I skip the tutorial, and I head over to start Wolf Whistle, but then I realize that I don't really want to start Wolf Whistle just yet, so I go ahead and head over to the Stronghold of Safety. And from here I'm just getting my initial 10 carat ore of starting cash, and I actually didn't realize you got any skill lamps from this, so I went ahead and used those on agility because I thought I needed 10 agility for this method, but it does turn out that you do not. So from here I'm going ahead and I'm buying some rings of dueling and some games necklaces. And I'm going to go ahead and slow down the video for a minute here just to talk about what you guys miss, because for about 40 minutes I decided not to record because I was going to do some questing and I didn't really want to quest during the lag. So what you guys miss here, which we'll skip over, is me doing Wolf Whistle and Druidic Ritual, and then attempting and failing to do Recruitment Drive. Because the method is you get your starting cash, then you collect Jangerberries, and then from there we're just casting Egg Spawn. Because right now Egg Spawn is about 1.5 mil an hour. So in order to do that, I figured the fastest way would be to do Wolf Whistle, because you need the summoning XP. And then from there I figured, well, I need 10 agility to get to this island, which it turns out you don't, but I thought you did. And so I thought, well, I don't really want to run the gnome course. I figure I'll do Druidic Ritual and Recruitment Drive, for maximum time saved. That failed horribly. I got Druidic Ritual done, but then Recruitment Drive, it turns out that killing the level 7 monster at level 3 is outright impossible. It's the whole reason that my character is a girl is for that quest, so that was a disaster. But anyway, let's get back to it. Alright, so now that quests are done, we are at Castle Wars collecting Jangerberries. So what I'm doing here is I am running to the lake to the east, or running to the island to the east of Castle Wars, going over there, using the rope on the tree branch, and then gathering multiple inventories of Jangerberries. Jangerberries are around 700k an hour, and I'm doing this until I have around 250k worth of Jangerberries. That way, I have some startup cash to buy the supplies to cast Egg Spawn, and to buy the materials to level up my summoning to 10. So here, raw chickens aren't buying at the price I want them to, so I figure, oh man, I gotta be, a clever merchant for YouTube. So I decide to make a horrible mistake and head down to Port Sarum to just go ahead and gather them. I tried buying from the store only has 10, world hopping didn't work, so I think, oh no, I'll just get a white apron and I'll, do Pirate's Treasure Quest, and I'll just go into the back of the store and gather the chickens. Turns out you actually have to be kind of halfway through the quest to have access to the chickens, so I wasted a bunch of time. And then there you saw me just level up summoning to 10 really fast, and from here I am gathering supplies to cast the Egg Spawn special ability. So what I did was I got a Spirit Spider pouch, and then I bought a few summoning potions, and then I bought a bunch of Egg Spawn scrolls. And for most of the rest of the video, what you're really going to see me do is what I'm doing right here, which is casting Egg Spawn. Right there I got my initial eggs, and I sold them at the instant sell price, that way I could buy the supplies to do this method for an entire hour, which is what I recommend you guys do. As Spirit Egg Spawn, casting Egg Spawn is around 1.5 mil an hour, so it's about twice as fast as Jangerberries, and is the method that I intend to do all the way to 10 mil. Now the reason that I chose to cast Egg Spawn to go from 0 gold to 10 mil in 3 days, and the reason that I believe it is the absolute best method in the game to get your initial startup cash on a low level character, is for 2 reasons. For one, casting Egg Spawn has a very small startup cost considering you make 1.5 mil an hour. The only startup cost is buying the initial supplies, which really is about 150, 200k, which you can easily get in 15 minutes just gathering jangerberries, as you saw me do. And then from there, you'll have enough supplies to cast at least one spider, maybe two, and then the eggs from that first spider will give you enough money to go ahead and buy enough supplies to do the method for an entire hour, and then from there, it just pays for itself. And then the other reason that I really like this method is because it doesn't require any high levels. As soon as you create your character, you go straight and do the Stronghold of Safety, and instead of wasting the XP on agility like I did, you spend it on summoning, then you do Wolf Whistle, and boom, you're already 11 summoning, and you can go straight into this method. Now this is compared to other methods like tanning hides, which require a big startup cost to actually buy the hides, and then from there you really need like a Spirit Terror Bird or access to high-level teleports to really be able to make the max amount of money per hour, or things like making unfinished potions where you have to have a high herbivore level to begin with, or things like cleaning herbs, which again require some startup cash and are just a lot more, is way more click intensive than this. And that's why I opted to choose this method, as you just make the most money per hour with the least time investment, and you also don't have to keep your cash stored in the materials for this. Like, enough materials to cast for like 3 hours is going to be less than 1 mil. And then you can free up the rest of that money to flip on the GE. Anyway, so what you saw me do is you see that I rearranged my interface a couple times to really find what I think is the most optimal way to do this. I unfortunately didn't realize how pleasurable it is to watch all the spider's eggs accumulate in my inventory, as I made it smaller as I just needed the space as I kept clicking the backpack as opposed to picking up spider's eggs. But I've since changed that back, as I really like seeing that. But anyway, so right there you saw me make about 5 mil. Well, it's hard to tell, but I'm at about 5 mil right now. And there's not too much going on or too many things happening, but there is kind of one thing happening, is occasionally I had some noobs that were just kind of mirroring my gains. So what's this guy doing? What's he doing with this rhino over here? Is he watching me make 1.5 mil an hour? Is he a little bit jelly? I think he's mirroring. Let's ask him. You mirroring? I bet he's mirroring. Let's find out. Is he mirroring? Is he mirroring? Oh man, he's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. Or he's thinking about it. So he's got to decide if he's mirroring. He's weighing how many gains I'm making per hour. But we know he's mirroring. Look at that. He's got scrub gear. He's got fire making cape. Obviously, oh yeah. Let's ask him. I'm mirroring my gains. Obviously, he's mirroring. Admiring. Yeah, he's mirroring. He's mirroring. He knows. He knows. Well, she knows. Anyway, so I ended up talking to that person who was mirroring all my gains. And they actually show me a better spot to cast egg spawn, which I didn't realize even existed, which is over there at the well, which we'll go to in a minute here, and that's where I will do quite a few of the casts in this video, as it's a little bit nicer because it's an outdoor bank, so I don't have that just tiny bit of run space, which saves just a little bit of time and allows me to cast a little bit more eggs per hour. But anyway, so we need to hurry up and go over there. You're embarrassing me. Video here. Can we go ahead and do that? I just talked about it. All right. So at some point we go over there and I start casting next to, I think it's like the Well of Goodwill is what it's called, the donation well. And then I keep clicking donate instead of clicking bank because it's not a one-click bank, but it's still pretty good. Still pretty good. But anyway, so I'm going on here. At this point, I'm estimating I probably have about 6.5 mil, just looking at the time in the video. And that person just sitting at fire making, and we're having, like, conversation about whatever. Just talking about, okay, that's why. That's why this is taking so long. The video has not been sped up as fast as it needs to have been. Alright, so we are back, and this time the video has been sped up the correct amount. Before it was on 1,000%, and most of the video has been set up to 6,450%, which is what we're at now. And now we're over here at the well, just casting spider's eggs, just spawning, just making so many gains. My gains per hour is just so high. Just so many people are just jelly. And then so I ended up talking to that person. I actually offered to teach them how to merchant, and they don't respond, which I thought was kind of funny. So I added to my friends list just for lulz. And then from here, I just keep spawning some more eggs, trying to get closer, getting ever closer to 10 mil. So for those wondering how I avoid getting the urge to smash my face into the keyboard while I'm doing this for hours on end, I usually do one of three things. I do my favorite thing, which is to be on Skype with my friend, because then we're just having a conversation, and I just happen to be spawning eggs at the same time, and that really helps the time go by a lot faster. The other two things that I do, I'll either listen to music, which I can usually do for about an hour, and then I get kind of bored. And then the other thing is listening to either a YouTube video or like an audiobook. I found that those keep my attention pretty well, as this is not an AFK method. You obviously can't look away from the screen, especially if you're trying to get maximum gains per hour. And I do recommend you try to do that. The reason that I run around as opposed to just standing in one spot, casting it a bunch of times, and then collecting the eggs all at once is partially due to my connection speed. I just find that it's a lot easier to get maximum casts if I collect about 2 eggs and then cast a spell, 2 eggs and cast a spell. Because if I stand in one spot casting the spell, then that means there's a time period where I would be just collecting eggs and not casting, which would slow down my eggs per hour. So yeah, the rest of the video isn't super eventful. It's pretty much just me spawning in eggs, although at one point I do go over to the GE and I do start to flip the red spider's eggs themselves, because at this point in Stay 3, and I have a pretty good idea of the price range. You can see there I'm flipping the eggs. They're got a pretty good margin right now of about, I think they had about 60 gold at the time, so it's a pretty good amount of money made per egg. And then here I start casting egg spawn at the GE, that way I can flip at the same time. And then at one point here this guy comes by and actually tries to recruit me for his clan, which I join just for the fun of it. I figure maybe something will come about it, although it turned out that their clan chat was kind of boring. And yes, I'm flipping the eggs. At this point, I'm getting very close to 10 mil. Yeah, see there's a guy recruiting me for his clan. He actually offered to give me money too, which I turned him down, as this video would be pointless if it was just someone, giving me money. The point of this video is to make 0 to 10 mil in 3 days on my own in such a way that you guys can easily replicate. As opposed to just doing all of my daily quests on a maxed account and then staking to 25 mil an hour. Shots fired. But yeah, so just collecting my red spider's eggs here. I decided to go back to the well because I realized that just kind of I don't need to be trading the eggs constantly, and it's a little bit more worthwhile for me to get the extra eggs that I get casting at the well than it is for me to cast the Grand Exchange. Alright, so I head on over back to the well, and I go ahead and get a nice summoning level up there to 14, and then very shortly here a guy, and there he is, the guy in full Dragon G approaches me, and that guy says, hello, with a smiley face, it's like, you want to be friends? And then he offers to give me money, and I'm a little bit suspicious, because I've got my female character, buying Jeff, anyone? Buying Jeff? Alright, and here we go. We are doing the big old price check. We're going to go ahead and slow down the video a little bit, just for emphasis. Emphasis! And, yeah. Here we go. Alright, 10.3 mil. Spider's eggs are worth a little bit more than they sold for there, but they did sell for enough that I did have 10 mil at this time, as this is right at the end of the 3rd day. Alright, so just to give you guys a quick summary of the most optimal way to do this method, you want to make your new account, head straight over and go ahead and complete the Wolf Whistle quest. You can just Google up a guide, it'll take you about 10 minutes. From there you want to head straight to the Barbarian Village, where you will complete the Stronghold of Safety, which will give you 10k and 2 XP lamps, which you want to use on summoning, which will take you straight to 11 summoning. Then from there you want to head to the Grand Exchange, and you want to buy 2 Rings of Dueling, 8 ropes, and 1 Varrock Teleport Tab. Then you want to rub your Ring of Dueling with 1 rope in your inventory, and you want to head straight east of Castle Wars to the Ogre Island. To get there, you just use your rope on the tree branch, and you'll swing over. The ogres on the island are not aggressive, so you can collect Jenga berries to your heart's content. The berries respawn about at the rate that you can collect them, and you want to collect about 8 inventories of Jenga berries to get your startup cash. Once you've done that, you want to go ahead and break your tablet and head back to the Grand Exchange, where you will then buy 1 or 2 Spirit Spider pouches, about 20 summoning potions, and then put the rest of your money into egg spawn scrolls. And then from there you want to summon 1 spider and spawn eggs for the full duration of the spider, which is 15 minutes. And then after that you want to go ahead and sell your first batch of eggs at the instant sell price, as those eggs will pay for about another hour's worth of supplies. And then from there you can just kind of cast for an hour and you'll have 1.5 mil, and then you can just keep doing that until you reach 10 mil. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my video. This will be the first in a series where I go from 0 gold on a level 3 count to 1 billion. If this video helped you out, if you could go ahead and take a moment of your time to like the video, it would really help me out. And if you want to see more content from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.